Hello, my name is Geogen and welcome back to World of Tanks. Something new for me, for my channel anyway. I thought I'd do a pilot dedicated to premium vehicles. Now, there are so many different premium vehicles in the game, it may be difficult to choose one, and a standard review of a vehicle is all well and good, but I thought I'd try and give you some statistical analysis in how profitable a vehicle is. So for the pilot, we'll be looking at the WZ-111, which is a tier 8 Chinese heavy tank, the other of course being a 112, and look at the following statistics. Credit income per match for both premium and standard accounts, credit profit for both premium and standard accounts per match, costs per match, so repairs, ammo, consumables, and also win-loss, average damage per match, and base experience per match. So the video will now move on to looking at those stats, running them through, and then we'll conclude on whether I think this is a viable purchase for profitability and or enjoyment. A brief disclaimer though, these are of course my games and therefore my stats. If you are accustomed to heavy tanks as an example, you may do better, you may do worse, or you may do about the same. That will impact how much profit you can make in these vehicles. So here are all kinds of numbers that I was mentioning for the WZ-111 that I talked about in the intro. 20 different games played, all of which have been taken into averages for all the categories except win-loss. Now also there are some red bands and green bands across the screen. These are my two worst games and two best games that I believe happened. There may well be a worse game, but I think I've selected the games correctly. Anyway, total average income, not taking into account costs, is 61,531.15 with premium and 41,000 almost without premium. This is, well, a benchmark, so we can't really say if it's good or bad. Profit is only 31,800, and without premium that is only 11,341. Costs are almost 29,000 per game on average, 635, almost 636 base experience, and 1,654 average damage done. Now, the game 18, as you can see, was very good for me. I earned almost 111,000 credits, just under 112,000 credits even, and gained a profit of 86,900 with premium. That would have been 74,600 income and 49,686 profit without premium. And you can see the ammo costs were quite high, even though I made quite a substantial premium. The inverse of this is game 17, so we had game 17 and game 18 being the worst and the best that I did in the WZ. We had 53,000 credits earned on game 17 with premium, 35,500 without, and we made a loss of minus 13,500 for premium and a loss of minus 31,200 without premium. Ammo costs for that match were 66,787, and we had quite a poor base XP. It was a loss, and we only did 1,891 damage. So, a bit of an old mixed bag for this WZ. Some games were really good, some games were really bad. Quite a lot of games were mediocre for me. So feel free to pause the video and take a look at my stats for the different games and see for yourselves what you think. I'm going to move on to a summary of the WZ and provide perhaps a little bit of an explanation for why some of these results are so cripplingly bad and why some of them are very good. So after having a look at the stats for the WZ-111. Why are they like they are? Now, this is taking into account me playing, and I thought I'd list some of the main positive and negative attributes of the vehicle. So, as for the positives, the vehicle has a high alpha damage gun with 390 average damage per shot. It is one of those standard 122 Russian guns that you find on the IS, IS-3, its stock, etc. The heat ammo is really good. 250 pen, can pen a lot of tier 9s from the front very easily, and even tier 10s. But you're not going to meet tier 10s in this vehicle if you play on your own or in a platoon of WZs, as it has limited matchmaking like the 112. All of my games were either tier 8 maximum or tier 9. The vehicle is faster than the 112, i.e. it has a better top speed, and therefore you can get to positions quite quickly and easily compared to other heavy tanks. The 112 is mostly comparable, but it is faster than say a Lerva or a T-34 and even an IS-6. However, that's where my list of good things about the WZ ends. Now, even though you have 330 average damage, 390 average damage with your 122, only has 175 pen, and if you're trying to make a profit with AP rounds being fired exclusively, you're not going to pen half your shots, and if you don't pen half your shots, you don't get credited with damage, therefore you don't get credited with credits. And then each fired shot that misses or doesn't pen will give you more and more on the cost tab and less profits. Firing heat also adds to this problem. The fact that you fire heat means it's premium rounds, and therefore you're going to rack up a huge amount of costs. WZ's lower plate is bad. Upper plate is okay, but it isn't as good as the 112's because of its pike nose angle. Therefore, if you're being shot from one side, one of your sides of the upper plate is really well angled, but the other is really flat and weak. Side armor is okay, it's the same as the 112's. Can be side scraped if you angle correctly. If you over angle too much, you'll be penetrated, and it isn't as good for side scraping, such as a Lerva I think is better, and definitely an IS-6. The engine is also huge, and the engine deck can be penetrated by HE artillery very easily. I've been hit for 1500 penetrated and died of a fire. The armor therefore is not really to be trusted. Additionally, your internal components, modules, have very poor health. This isn't necessarily a fault with WZ, but it has Chinese module health, which means it is very poor. I've been ammo numerous times in these 20 matches that I played, and often ammo completely. So I lost all my health and died. And therefore, big old repair bill, limited damage done. So those are a few reasons for why I think this vehicle had some very mediocre games and a couple of very bad games where we lost money, even on a premium account. But the good matches were favourable for us, many tier 7s or tier 8 things like T-34s and Lervas, which we can pen with our standard rounds. IS-3s are a bit more difficult, as you can well imagine. And of course IS-6s are, well, almost impenetrable with standard AP, and E75s we're not even going to go there. So those are a few reasons why I think it was as it was with the results. Whoop, fail with pronunciation with the results. Of course it is me playing. If you think you can do better in the WZ, you will do better in terms of your profitability, and worse of course if you don't think it's a vehicle for you. My suggestion is, unless you really want the WZ, I wouldn't buy it. It is very expensive. You can't buy it all the time. I think it was first introduced as a marathon tank where you could do a set of missions to acquire it, but it would take far too long and I didn't do it. So I bought it and I wanted to train my Chinese crews, but it's not really a vehicle I like playing, so not really recommended. take the profitability as you will. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave me comments down below if you have any suggestions to the format, how I can improve it, change it, speed it up, make it longer, etc, etc. Do you need to see all 20 games statistics? Do you like that, or do you just want to see the averages at the bottom? And is Microsoft Excel okay? Some people may not like that, but we'll see. So I hope you enjoyed the video regardless, and as always, I've been Geogen, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes in the next one.